Hello, I'm Mary Bruce from Churchman's Farm at Faversham in Kent, and I'm going to talk to you about keeping chickens. The first thing to think about when you're keeping chickens is what area of ground you've got available for them. Are they going to be in the end of the garden? Will you be fencing off a little bit across the bottom of your garden? Have they got to be in an enclosed area with an integral run like this system here? Most people now, especially in the towns, have got foxes apparently that will jump just across the gardens. So that's the most important thing. And how much ground can you have available for these hens? There are all sorts of different systems around, but having decided where your hut is going to be, and certainly if you allow a space, if you've got something like 8 by 6 foot, you certainly wouldn't want more than perhaps 4 hens. And do bear in mind that especially if you have hybrid chickens, which are the cross chickens, have been bred especially for laying eggs, they are going to give you 3 to 4 eggs a day, and it's amazing how quickly they mount up. So all these things have to be borne in mind when you are thinking about having your chickens. First thing to do is you do need to put some bedding down here to catch the droppings and things. We use wood shavings like this. I always say to people anything that they can get free. Most wood joiners and things are only too pleased to give away their wood shavings. You could use shredded newspaper. It has to be soft wood shavings, not hardwood shavings, because that would be too hard on their feet. So you would put it in the base of the hut like this. Your perches, you could have a perch across, 2 perches across there. You would say normally about 8 inches per bird. They do cuddle up together, so you never need to give your chickens any heat in the winter. And then you have the nest box at the end here, so it's easy to collect the eggs. Put some more wood shavings in here, and you shouldn't ever really need to clean out the nest box. That should stay nice and clean. As far as feed goes, you must give them a proprietary food, layers mash or layers pellets. It is very, very important if you want to get the best out of your hens that you give them a good protein level, at least 16% protein. We use layers mash a lot of the time, which is just like that, has lots of wheat and corn and maize and soya, and has been specially scientifically put together to get the best out of your hens, to get the best egg laying ability. You can use layers pellets, which is another, a lot of people like to use layers pellets because there's less wastage. And they can't pick out, with the layers mash, they can pick out the bits that they don't like, and perhaps that might be an important part of their diet. But it is important that you have layers mash or layers pellets. And I would suggest to people that they don't give them a lot of extra. You mustn't give them a lot of extra wheat or corn, because that will upset the balance. They will love it at the expense of not eating your layers mash or layers pellets. And they need about 100 grams per bird per day. And you would just pour this, whether it be the mash or the pellets, just pour that. We feed morning and afternoon, whatever suits you. Chickens like routine. So if you just want to feed them in the morning, that's absolutely fine. But you would just pour it in the middle here, dry. You can give it to them wet. And pour it in there, and then they can peck at it as it goes round. And then the most important thing of all is they must have lots of water. A chicken must never run out of water, because an egg is 75% water for a start, terribly important for their health. So again, I would always say to people, have a proprietary water container. And these ones are very good because they hold water and it will drip out during the day. This is a 2.5 litre one, which would be fine for 2 to 3 hens. These ones here are 4 litres. You pour the water in, turn it upside down, and there are little legs there. But at least you know, if you fill that up, and they must have fresh water every morning, if you fill that up, you know that they'll have plenty of water for the rest of the day. And you would just put that in the run with them there. The other thing that is important to them is the oyster shell and grit. To start with, they will be getting grit out of your ground. If you've never had chickens before, they will find some grit in your ground. But after a time, they will have had every little bit of grit that is left, probably. So it is important that you give them some insoluble grit like this, which aids the digestion. Chickens don't have any teeth, so it helps to grind everything up. And you put it in any old container that you have in your house. put a little bit of this and also mix it with some oyster shell. And oyster shell is for calcium and the eggshell quality. Mix that with the grit and just put it in the run so that they know when they need it and they'll just peck at it occasionally. And that's how to keep chickens.